For the second straight game, one of their new freshmen. And Duke has a lot of playmakers. There's a young team, but a deep team. Ashlon Jackson coming off a performance in which he hit 5 threes for a career-high 25 points in their win against Coastal Carolina last Thursday. As the opening tip is won by Duke, the officials, John Capolino, Crystal Apolanes, and David Troyan. Duke in their road dark blue uniforms with white trim, Lions in their home whites with light blue trim, and we're going to travel right out of the gates, and a turnover will give it back to Columbia. So Columbia with its first opportunity to get on the board here, coming off their win against Seton Hall on Friday. Here's Abby Shu, their leading scorer, drops it off to Komesanya, who can't get the roll, and Duke is able to get the defensive stop with Jadyn Donovan grabbing the rebound. In the win against Coastal Carolina, Duke knocked down a single-game record 14 threes. That trifecta does not go for Reigan Richardson, who leads the team in scoring after 2 games.
We've mentioned the youth of the Duke Blue Devils, and certainly there's going to be some growing pains that come along with that, but they're an outstanding defensive program, and that's a mentality that head coach Kara Lawson has instilled in all of her players.
Weiss in and out on the 3. Last season, Duke allowed only 51 points per game. That was second in the nation. They go inside, and the reverse up and in off the glass for Kennedy Brown, one of the outstanding centers in collegiate basketball. And we're going to get a travel quickly back the other way, so that will give the ball to Duke. So Duke will slow things down. Jackson on the attack, going right to left and laying it in as the Blue Devils have a 4-point cushion. And a steal out in the backcourt as Donovan able to pad this Duke lead.
Duke likes to press. They're going to show contain. They're going to show on the ball. They're going to show trapping. They want to be disruptive in the full court.
Now, there's also a team with a lot of length. Columbia has not seen this size yet. Shu pulls up and connects, and Columbia is on the board.
As if to say, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Abby Shu on cue.
Friday night, she became the all-time leader in made threes in Ivy League history, and she still has an entire season to pad that lead. Speaking of threes,
poor decision on her part, and Team Mair made her pay.
Mair transferred from Boston College. She was the ACC Freshman of the Year. As it's intercepted here by Mair, leaves it up ahead to Richardson, who stops, pops, and lays it in. It's an 11-2 advantage for Duke. They're turning defense into offense.
Columbia likes to play in the full court and likes to play up-tempo. I'm wondering if this is a little too fast for Columbia.
Collins trying to find an opening on Richardson. Leaves it in the corner for Weiss with 16 on the shot clock. Henderson off the pump, pulls up, and drops it through.
In talking with head coach Megan Griffith earlier in the week, she said that she has really challenged Kitty to be more of a consistent scorer, not just a facilitator who can shoot, but to actually look to score. Nice to see Henderson take that and make that first 3.
They go down low to Brown. She draws the double. Beautiful backdoor cut by Donovan, who gets the feed and is able to lay it in as she is leading the way with 4 points. She's one of 4 McDonald's All-Americans on this roster. Columbia with the dribble drive for Abby Shu, counted, plus the foul as the Lions' leading scorer goes to work in the lane.
Her to add things to her game and getting to the foul line. She's getting there more now than she did last year. More of a complete player.
Abby Shu coming in on the season 80%, completes the 3-point play. That foul was on Kennedy Brown, her first, as well as the team's first. 5-point game here as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. Richardson off the dribble, kicks it out in the corner. And that one overshot over the rim by Delaney Thomas. Collins feeds it underneath to Lauder, and Lauder cannot finish over Thomas.
Another turnover. That could have been an offensive rebound for Paige Lauder. Just bobbled the basketball, but now 7 turnovers resulting in 6 Duke points. That's the basketball game right there. Another 2 points in the paint for the Blue Devils.
Columbia trying to solve the riddle as they whip it around the perimeter here. Henderson caught underneath of the posts. The lengthy Kennedy Brown on her. Shu for 3 and rolls it in as she continues at a torrid pace from downtown. Speaking of threes, Jackson coming off that performance with 5 trays, leaves it for the cutting Richardson, shooting a blistering 57% from the field. Thomas takes it away from Henderson initially, and now Richardson will pick it up. So it goes down as another Columbia turnover, and Henderson fighting for the loose ball. This time Kitty taking it away from Mair. Helter-skelter play, and we calm down here in New York City. Lauder from the corner. Mair fights for it and tips it to Brown. Mair looking for an opening around Brown, and they'll kick it into the corner. Shu comes over on the help side with a beautiful play. She'll leave it for Collins. Wide open down the baseline. A timeout for the Blue Devils as Kara Lawson wants to get her team to regroup. The Lions out in transition. Abby Shu could facilitate as well.
That last timeout was called because head coach Kara Lawson did not like the momentum that Columbia was gaining.
You just saw on the screen Camilla Emsbo, who has the basketball. She's very familiar with this Columbia program after spending the last 4 years at Yale, the grad transfer, adding more size to the interior, fighting for position with Paige Lauder as they work it around the perimeter with 10 on the shot clock. Richardson skims the rim. It's a loose ball skirmish. We're going to get a jump ball, possession arrow in favor of Columbia.
That's going to keep them in this basketball game.
And here is the full court press by Duke. It's a staple of their defensive intensity. Perry Page in for the first time for Columbia. She gets the ball at the top of the key. She made her season debut on Friday after tearing her ACL last February against Penn, and she is denied by Delaney Thomas.
Force the defense to play.
Megan Griffith calls her a lightning bolt off the bench, a high-energy player. Abby Shu fits that bill, and the jumper is nothing but net. Abby Shu has yet to miss a shot. She's 4 of 4, and give her double digits.
If that was the first storm that Duke put out there, Columbia has handled it well.
Mair gets a clear path down the lane. Akanawa had a double-double, 7th Blue Devil in history to have that feat as Emsbo grabs the miss. Mair off to the races. Page picks her pocket. It's a 2-on-1 break. Page going to the lane and cannot finish. Shu there to clean it up, and that's her first miss of the night.
And now Duke has the opportunity to take the last shot here of this first quarter.
It's also the first opportunity for us to get a breather here as both teams pick it up the pace. Mair will slow things down. Shot clock is off. Trying to come around the Emsbo screen. Gives it up to Akanawa in the corner. 1 second to go, and we're going to get a whistle underneath. Are you saying the Columbia-Yale rivalry is still alive and well? Is that what you're insinuating?
I think so.
9/10 of a second. Mair gives it up, and the jumper does not bounce through for Richardson, as that is going to do it. An energetic first 10 minutes of play.
They need to crash the boards, get an offensive rebound, get a steal, go in for a layup. Columbia needs balanced scoring here.
Emma Cable in for the first time for Duke as Richardson handles it. Swarming defense by Page, who gets a hand on it in the lane. Donovan, though, is able to clean it up and bank it in. She's got 6.
We're seeing her finish at the rim, keeping the basketball high, the strength that she has as a young freshman. We see why she was a high school All-American.
There's also the Gatorade District of Columbia Player of the Year as Perry Page attacking the rim. Emsbo surveying the field here. And that is a wide open look for Jackson. Emsbo crashes the offensive glass and makes her presence felt. Speaks volumes of this Duke defense, which was tops in the nation in so many categories last season as they made it to the NCAA tournament second round. Shu jabs right, dribbles left, and puts it through with Jackson in her face.
Great defense, but Abby Shu is just a better offensive player right now, could elevate and shoot over the top of the outstretched arms.
12 points on 5 of 6 shooting, and she hasn't necessarily been relying on the 3. It's all been the mid-range game. Mair with 14 on the shot clock. Working on Comesaña. They whip it around the perimeter. 8 to go. Jackson overshoots. Emsbo can't get the roll. but she will head to the free throw line.
Take momentum away. They are backbreakers for Columbia here. You put so much effort into that half-court defense.
That is Emsbo's first miss of the season. Small sample size, only 2 for 3. She did not play last season in the Ivy League due to a torn ACL. As the previous season, she was 70%. 3 seconds, though, on the shot clock. Kitty, her sister, with a prayer, and that does not hit the rim. Mair with 15 on the shot clock. The crossover on Kitty. Dumps it down low to Brown, who feeds the cutting Richardson, who was caught too far underneath the bucket. Rejected by the backboard. And the Lions now on the attack, as Duke has no field goals in the last 3:49. Shue spots up for 3 and drains it. Abby Shue will not be denied. She's got 15. And quickly back the other way. Brown misses on the bunny. Collins the rebound, and the Lions have an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Fliss off the dribble, underneath to Collins, and we're knotted at 24.
This is exciting for March. These teams are competing, getting better with every possession. As sloppy as the first quarter might have been for Columbia, they've brought their composure here to start the second.
High intensity in early November. Mair down low to Donovan, and this is going to go the opposite way. Collins sacrificing her body. They are shooting now 36% from the field. Shue matched up with Richardson. The awkward floater, no good, but she will earn a trip to the line.
Abby Shue has diversified or stepped into a larger role and more than just a three-point shooter.
Shue is 2 for 2 from the line tonight. And just as I say that, she misses her first, and we're going to get a foul now against Paige Lauder.
So easy to note here that Abby Shue is still in the basketball game with 2 fouls. That's the confidence that Megan Griffith has in her senior, but how does that affect her defensive intensity?
Mair the long 2.
We just saw head coach Carol Lawson look in disbelief as she felt that that was a travel.
That's the second on Donovan, the team's 4th. Here's Paige in the corner. Hands it off to Abby Shue with a game-high 16. Dangerous pass intercepted by Mair. It's a 2-on-2 break. Mair spinning in the lane and finishing with the teardrop. And now, just like that, they reclaim the lead by 3. And it's all a product of Mair. Columbia, no field goals made in the last 2:20. Henderson in no woman's land. 7 on the shot clock. Here's Fliss, her sister, in the lane. Lauder the rebound with the shot clock reset. And cashes it in. Paige Lauder with her first 2 points.
Credit Fliss Henderson for coming back
off of those mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, Richardson just lost it.
Looking to contain, eat up some clock, make somebody other than Kitty Henderson bring the ball up.
And they break down that press. Paige off the dribble, switches hands and draws the contact.
Perry Page is at the foul line.
Emma Cable gets her first personal, team's 5th. Paige, 2 for 2 from the line this season. Last season was 63% from the line. And she makes 1 of 2.
She's working, Emsbo, we're speaking of working her tail off on that post up.
Richardson lets it fly. It's a hot potato. Delaney Thomas comes down with it and gets the roll underneath off yet another offensive board. Thomas has 4, and Columbia can now hold for the final shot as this seesaw battle ensues. Collins comes around the screen. Emsbo is right there to meet her. 5 seconds and counted. Collins pulls up in the lane and delivers. Cecilia Collins with the exclamation point to a fantastic back and forth affair here in New York City.
The national rankings, are they really accurate? It's just hard to tell how one player is going to respond or be used in a new system.
Well, Duke is receiving votes in the AP poll, but is number 19 in the WBCA coaches poll. And Columbia's never won a game against a ranked opponent.
We talk about the experience that Carol Lawson is giving her players. Head coach Megan Griffith is doing the same here for Columbia. She wants
She wants the ball to go through the net from Riley Weiss on cue.
On cue.
Comesaña did not play last season due to injury, so she's also slowly trying to get her feet back under her.
Not surprising that Columbia makes an adjustment at halftime and comes out to double team the ball on the block, trying to protect that paint.
Donovan going inside to Brown, and Brown is fouled by Comesaña.
But give Kennedy Brown credit for getting that deep post position.
The fourth free throw attempt in the game for Duke, as Kennedy Brown stays perfect on this and went right into Kennedy Brown.
And that's why coaches say, when you're in the paint, don't be afraid to use the shot fake.
Abby Shue using the baseline with the right hand. 15 on the shot clock for the Blue Devils, down by 3. Richardson can't connect. Brown there to grab the offensive board. 17 on the shot clock here for Columbia, with the ball getting into the backcourt. Mair all over Kitty Henderson. Feeds it in the corner to Lauder. Collins pushed off for the rebound. Jackson with Weiss by her side. Could not finish at the rim. Lauder the rebound. And here comes Collins looking to push. Hands off to Shue. Abby Shue trying to get to 20. And give it to her. Not a lot of move without the ball for Duke, as Jackson comes towards it. Mair with the fancy dribbling. 16 on the shot clock. They give it up to Thomas. Collins knocks the ball loose. Thomas still has it. Are we going to get a foul?
Liz Henderson getting a little bit greedy, looking for the basketball.
In her collegiate career. And you can make it 3 of 4. She takes advantage of Columbia's foul trouble, and we have a 1-point game, as the Lions get it inbounds to break down the full court press. Collins goes cross court to Kitty, wide open from the corner. Trifecta, she's got 6.
Megan Griffith has said Cecilia Collins just gets it. She found herself on the block, was able to get it out past a screen to Kitty Henderson.
And Megan Griffith has said she wanted Kitty to be a more aggressive scorer this season. Well, so here comes Kennedy Brown at the charity stripe. She's 2 for 2, and you can make it 3 for 3. And Kennedy Brown, Fliss looking for some space to operate. Lauder catches and fires. Off the mark, Fliss had it, she loses it, and Duke is able to recover, thanks to Akanawa. Quickly back the other way, Mair. That was 11-2. 10 on the shot clock. Kitty goes back door. Great hands there by Akanawa to knock it. Who could take advantage? Duke clearly has a significant edge. Those were her first 2 attempts this season. Last season, 73%, as she transferred following her freshman year at Georgia. So last season was year number 1 here with the Blue Devils.
This deep half-court defensive pressure by Duke is forcing Columbia way outside the scoring area.
Shue gets doubled. Comesaña straight away. So Duke gets a defensive stop. The Blue Devils on a 6-0 run. Columbia has not scored in over 2 minutes. Mair gets it to Richardson. Here are the top 2 scorers going up against one another. Richardson gets it back. Strong rebound underneath by Akanawa. Are you kidding me?
When you talk about rebounding outside of your area, Akanawa came from behind the 3-point line.
And that is exactly why she had a double-double in her first collegiate game against Richmond. She plays with great size and length. Only 5'10", out of Boston, Massachusetts. Shue from the corner. Mair had it, loses it to Kitty. Kitty gets tied up, wins the battle. And there's 15 now on the shot clock for the Lions to operate. They get it to the cutting Fliss. Down low to Comesaña, who misses on the bunny. And Duke dodges a bullet on that one. So the Blue Devils can pad the lead. Emsbo loses it, dives on it, and we're going to get a jump ball.
Want to get yourself back in the basketball game? Want to get yourself more personal minutes? Crash the glass.
When a 5'10 guard is leading the team in rebounding and they have 2 centers that are 6'5 or taller, you're doing something right. Speaking of the towers, Kennedy Brown off the assist from Emsbo.
Nice high-low. They can literally pass right over the top of the shorter Columbia defenders.
Page stuck in the lane. And she gets the bounce off the back iron.
And now you have a size mismatch.
And Kanawa, though, cannot lay it home. Lauder the rebound. As the Lions now trying to pick up the pace. Page out to Lauder. And Kitty lost the ball. It was last touched by Duke. Well, Emsbo has some wingspan as Susie Raffu now gives Columbia a little bit more size. She played 18 minutes in game one, started, and back the other way. Kanawa knows how to provide a lift off the bench everywhere here at Levien Gym.
The length of Kennedy Brown. Defense turns to offense. Creates that contact.
Paige Lauder picking up the personal, the 8th team foul, and she completes the three-point play. Brown, one of two players in double figures for Duke. She's got 10. Page matched up on Brown. And now Kitty will try to come out of the corner. Looking for someone. Riley Weiss straight away. And Brown goes sky high for the rebound as Columbia tonight. They're shooting just 29% from three. Emsbo can't capitalize inside. And the Lions off the defensive stop, trying to eat into this 13-2 run. And we're going to get contact against Duke. They're going to whistle this against Aluchi Kanawa.
Essentially an assistant coach last year, like you mentioned, after the injury, choosing to stay involved in that capacity has really benefited her leadership this year.
The senior out of Pickerington, Ohio. Fliss knocks down both. It's a 5-point game in the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Richardson down the left side. Fliss and Kitty Henderson with Raffu and Shu. Richardson, Charlotte, North Carolina, leading the way with 17 a game after a career-high 28-point performance in the season opener against Richmond with 15 seconds and counting. Not a lot of movement without the ball. Abby takes over. And here's Fliss Henderson as Collins loses her footing. Fliss gets tied up, loses the ball, and they're not going to get a shot off Duke, but they continue to get down and dirty on the defensive side of the ball, which is no surprise considering how effective they were last season.
16 points off of those 18 Columbia turnovers.
Kitty Henderson on the drive, high off glass and in. Well, she's the second leading scorer for the Lions. She has 8. Abby Shu leads the way with 20, and that's what Columbia is searching for, a more balanced attack compared to Duke that has 8 of its 9 players that have entered the game scoring today. Emsbo gets it to Richardson. Back to Emsbo, wide of her, comes out. Jackson comes back in. That was like a scene out of Space Jam where you have the Monstars cornering Michael Jordan. A huge size advantage. You never know what references you get during the course of this game.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
We spread the wealth as well. Duke gets the steal from Kennedy Brown, up ahead to Richardson. And with under 9 minutes to go, Duke trying to pad its lead here. Mair will take over. Pulls up from the baseline. Each team has only scored 2 points here in the fourth. Now all of a sudden it's become a defensive battle.
A defensive battle or an offensive chess match, one of the two.
Collins blocked underneath. Ball goes out of play as Emsbo and Thomas were both there. And we've brought up Duke's defense as we take another look at a perfect example of them getting a stop.
Fliss Henderson attacking baseline, trying to use her body.
Fliss leaves it for her sister, a sneaky assist, and Kitty is rewarding her better half with that layup.
That takes a elevated IQ to understand how to get that wraparound post-entry pass.
Emsbo trying to wrap around the Columbia D. Lauder somehow grabs the rebound. They're actually going to get the foul on Thomas, not Emsbo here. That is Thomas's first, team's third. 5-point game as we approach 7 minutes to go. Lions shooting 42% from the field. They are just 5 of 18 from 3, and that usually is a facet that they've relied on so heavily, and yet more aggressiveness out of Duke being punished.
They're feeling some sort of way, but you appreciate them fighting for their players.
Lauder thinking about the 3. Down the baseline has a step on Emsbo and lays it in. Paige Lauder, who's been in foul trouble throughout this entire game, is able to come through with her second bucket.
Paige Lauder is a very capable three-point shooter. Fantastic percentage last year. Has struggled so far tonight. Wise move, attack the basket.
3-point game. Mair gets an opening. Count it plus the foul as Duke once again responds to Columbia's offense.
Here we'll see Mair, a little hesitation, lets the defender, meaning that hedge from Paige Lauder, retreat, keeps her dribble.
And that is just the team's first here in the fourth. Mair to the line for the first time tonight, and she completes the three-point play. Season high with 16. Stevens was wide open, the extra pass to Lauder, and Donovan is there for the rebound and then bumped.
Is key as Columbia needs more offensive possessions here.
Duke has 13 offensive boards, 9 second chance points, but Columbia's numbers are right in the vicinity as Donovan sneaks through the Columbia defense and banks it home.
We talked about Jadyn Donovan in the open being that aggressive, quick first step, finishing at the rim.
So Jadyn Donovan is too shy of matching her season high. Kitty, dangerous pass, and it actually skims off of Richardson, then off of Shue, and out of play. Turnover number 20.
Megan Griffith will have her staff clip every single turnover and decide how they can eliminate at least half of them.
Well, Marin, if Duke scores here, whether it's a 2 or a 3, they're going to have a point per Columbia turnover, and right on point. And it's a 7-0 run for Duke as the Blue Devils have knocked down their last 3 field goal attempts. Can Columbia get an ignition from somebody, including that young lady, Abby Shue? She's got 20. She's going to stay that way. Kitty off the bounce. Gets it to Stevenson. She pumps. Denied by Emsbo. Out to Shue. Straightaway 3. And Abby.
That's what Columbia needed, not only for the point differential, but also to keep this crowd engaged. We're accustomed to seeing sellouts in February and March here in Levien Gymnasium, but for it to happen here in early November.
Mair, the long-range shot. Shue getting it done on both ends. Abby Shue leaves it for Kitty. All alone from the corner is Stevens. The place would have went bonkers here. Rice the rebound. Shue off the dribble. Out to Kitty for 3. And it's raining trays. Back-to-back trifectas. You blink, a 6-0 run, and Columbia is within 4.
Kitty Henderson and Abby Shue have stepped up in terms of leadership this year, and we're seeing that as they are taking the tough shots here in the fourth quarter.
Duke trying to quiet this crowd. Donovan bumps into Stevens. And Stevens rewarded, sacrificing her body, and that is number 5 for Jadyn Donovan. So she is going to watch Columbia basketball here out of the timeout. Nicole Stevens, who was inbounding, was the one who drew the offensive foul against Jadyn Donovan, who was fouled out for Duke, the freshman out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. You see her numbers on screen, 8 points, 7 boards. Tremendous energy and length, so we'll see what type of an impact, Marin, that's going to have really on both ends for Duke.
The defensive end and the offensive rebounding opportunities for Duke.
It's been Abby Shue and Kitty Henderson as of late. Weiss the scoop! And the freshman saying, hold on, upperclassmen, I can have some fun too. It's an 8-0 run for Columbia and a scoring drought of 2 minutes for Duke. Richardson fakes right, dribbles left, short. Brown clean it up. She can't get the bounce, and Weiss grabs the rebound.
Point blank miss there by Duke.
Kitty Henderson. The rebound by Weiss, and Columbia is still alive on this possession. Columbia on the attack with the left hand. Kitty Henderson just showing off. It's a 10-0 run. They're going wild in NYC.
Left-handed drive. Finish off the wrong foot, the wrong side. Forces Duke here to call a timeout. They're looking to cut the momentum. Columbia's looking to build on.
Duke with 18 on the shot clock. Richardson, the turnaround jumper, puts it in. Reigan Richardson, the junior. Jackson, Akanawa. And rounding out the group is Richardson, who denies Shu on the interior, and Brown grabs the rebound. So Richardson now enters the front court. And they'll slow things down, up by 2. Richardson comes around a Mair screen, dancing with the basketball here. Backdoor cut by Jackson, who scoops it in on the reversal. The leading scorer, unselfish, sets up her teammate. Kitty in and out of traffic, dangerous pass to Lauder, and somehow avoids the jump ball. Abby Shu with 15 on the shot clock. The floater drops it in. Abby Shu's got 25, and Columbia back within a deuce.
Duke has found success using screens, curling, finishing in the paint, or posting up Kennedy Brown on the block.
Duke trying to milk some clock. There's about a 14-second differential between game and shot. Mair picked up by Kitty. Jackson, the straightaway long 2, and it rims in. Ashlon Jackson, the sophomore out of Texas, with one big bucket after another. As the Lions will inbound with Kitty Henderson. Weiss, Shu, Collins, and Lauder round out the 5. Kitty having trouble getting it in play. And that's going to be a 5-second violation. Martin, it seemed to be something with the substitution because Nicole Stevens is now back on the bench after she tried to get in. Jackson gets the inbounds. And they're going to take some time off the clock. But remarkably, Richardson turns it over. So Columbia hands off to Shu. Her 3 rattles off. Who did it touch last? And they're going to keep it with Columbia.
She does have the 6'5" Kennedy Brown in her line of sight. How does that affect her passes?
And once again, Kitty having trouble. Bounces it to Shu. Difficult shot. Gets it off. Too hard off the glass. Kitty saves it to Page. And that is going to do it as Duke seals it with its defense. A valiant effort by the Columbia Lions, but the Blue Devils prevail.